Dana never went up to Judy. We were both on quarantine because she was near me.
Oh. Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Those on Zoom at home, can you give me a thumbs up if you can? Perfect. Thank you.
And the community updates don't have the number of people who are sheltering in place or quarantining.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this month's State of the Business meeting here at the Terraces Los Gatos. Today we have residents, family members, advisory board members joining us through various media. We have several here in the Fountain Court with us today, and I'm glad that there are many of you that are able to join us remotely through Zoom or on your televisions in your homes. I'd like to extend a special welcome to anyone that's joining us for the first time. We're glad that you're here. Thanks for coming, and we invite you to join us every first Thursday of the month at 3:30. Also, I'd like to extend a special welcome to any members of our advisory board that are here with us, either in the Fountain Court or those that are joining us remotely. Thank you for joining us wherever you are. And also thank the advisory board for all the work that you do. The advisory board is hard at work at a few very exciting projects, and appreciate your work that is being done there. Today's meeting is going to be a little bit slightly different than we've had them in the past. We typically invite a department or a specific group of team members to come and join us in person so that we can get to know them a little bit better, celebrate them, and show them our appreciation. Due to current sorry, I stepped on the cord. Due to current precautions in place, we are trying to keep distance between all of our team members and as much as possible. So we won't have a specific department that we'll be spotlighting today. However, I'd like to take a moment to publicly thank and recognize the current and past members of the TLG COVID-19 team who play a tremendous role in keeping our community safe, healthy, and compliant with the constantly evolving public health guidelines. Although they're not here with us today, I'd like to introduce the following individuals or recognize them. Ali Reyes, RN, Director of Nursing. Diana Tran, RN, Nurse Educator and previous infection preventionist. Dana Concepcion, LVN and current infection preventionist. And Catherine Tepp, RN, Assistant Health Services Administrator and previous Director of Nursing. The work that these remarkable nurses do is incredibly important, and it's also really, really challenging work. In addition to the daily clinical operations that they oversee throughout the community, they're also the ones that ensure we're conducting COVID-19 testing as directed by public health, actually conducting the tests themselves more often than not for both residents and team members week after week after week. They make sure that we have appropriate protocols in place for residents, team members, contractors, and visitors. They make sure we have the proper signage. They make sure team members are trained on ever-evolving protocol, making sure that they're following the protocol. They submit reports, tons and tons of reports to Santa Clara County Department of Public Health, the California Department of Public Health, the California Department of Social Services, and I'm sure several other agencies that I'm not even aware of. Although there is still a whole lot that we need to do in the coming weeks and months, please, if you could all join me in thanking Ali, Diana, Dana, and Catherine for all they have done to keep your community safe and healthy. There's one specific member of the COVID-19 team I'd like to speak about a little bit more, and that is Catherine Tepp. Catherine joined the TLG team over 10 years ago, long before I had ever been introduced to the Terraces of Los Gatos or Human Good, or at that time, ABHOW. She started working as a charge nurse in the health center, working the night shift. Since she started, it was clear that she was a very intelligent and very talented young nurse. She was eventually promoted to become the nurse educator and then eventually promoted to become the director of nursing. As director of nursing, she led the health center team through several successful surveys, including one completely zero deficiency-free survey, which in this industry is nearly unheard of. She's also been promoted to Assistant Health Services Administrator. And as I mentioned earlier, she's been tremendously instrumental in our community's response to COVID-19. Also, over the past 10 years, she got married, she changed her name, she got a super cute puppy named Harry, an even cuter baby girl named Colette. She's done a lot over the past 10 plus years. And as you've likely read or heard by now, Catherine has made the difficult decision to leave the organization and pursue a new opportunity. Although she's leaving the senior living industry, she is continuing her nursing career in a slightly different course. And we're very excited for her. Although she's not here with us today, I'd like to thank and ask you to join me in thanking Catherine for all that she has done and wish her well in her future endeavors. All right, Linda Price, our Director of Sales and Marketing. This is typically when she comes up and is very vibrant and energetic and gives us a report from the sales and marketing team. She is currently being very vibrant and energetic and meeting with a prospective future resident right now. And I let her know that, yes, that does take priority over being here at this meeting. And so I have just a quick report to provide on her behalf. Currently in independent living, we have 9 of our 175 homes that are unoccupied. They're vacant and all under construction at the moment. 7 of those 9 vacant homes have been reserved, and the other 2 will likely be reserved very soon, possibly 1 in the next half an hour. We'll see. In assisted living, we have 43 apartments that are occupied of the 45, and the remaining 2 are also reserved. And in the Grove and memory care, we have 15 of our 16 units that are occupied, and the currently unoccupied unit in the Grove is reserved, and a resident will be moving in shortly. We have 1 new resident that is actually in the process of moving in as we speak. I think we mentioned her name last month, but Ms. Doris Davis is currently in the process of moving into E221. So Ms. Davis, if you're here joining us in the Fountain Court, I don't see her. She may be joining us remotely. If you are, welcome. We're very glad that you're here. We hope the move is going well. Welcome to the community. All right, I'd now like to invite Christy McKinney, our Director of Human Resources, to come on up, and she'll provide us with a report from Human Resources.
Good afternoon, everybody. Kind of a funny story as we're talking about Linda being on foot. I had a resident that I was walking out with say, "You're wearing flats." And I said, "I'm not Linda." So anyway, that's kind of a funny thing. I appreciated being compared to Linda, so that's great. Okay, so as we talk about new hires, or we talk about team members, we've had 6 new hires in the last month. We had 1 that joined the lodge. We had 3 new nurses that joined the wellness team. So Agnes was so excited. And we also have 1 in our resident services and 1 caregiver in the Grove. So we're very excited about those new hires. We also have 5 new hires that are in the process of joining us and going through all the background and testing. So we have 2 CNAs that will join the health center team, 1 housekeeper, 1 caregiver in the Grove, and then another wellness LVN. So very excited about those 5 team members that will be joining us. For our team member anniversaries, we have 17 team members celebrating their anniversaries this month. Of those 17, 7 team members have worked over 10 years. And of those, also, we have 3 team members that have been here over 15 years. So we do have a lot of longevity with our team members, and it's always exciting to celebrate and honor their service each year to the team. For our turnover this month, we are at 16.67%, still well above industry standards of 30%. So we continue to work hard on finding opportunities for our team members from within to move into different positions. You've probably seen many of Bradley's notes or memos about some of our current team members that are moving into new positions. So we're always excited when we can do that. And then it opens the door for other team members to join our team. So that is all I have for the HR report.
Thank you very much, Christy, for that report, and thank you for all that you do. I was actually, if anyone wonders what I do in my spare time, I was reviewing some statistics from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics while I was at home early this morning. And I jotted down a few statistics that I thought were interesting and actually give a little context to the work that Christy and our entire leadership team do. And it's with respect to employment turnover throughout the nation. So from 2016 to 2019. So, you know, 4 previous years before last year, nationwide employment turnover averaged between 41 and 45%. In 2020, that number skyrocketed up to 57%. In healthcare specifically, the previous 4-year average, the previous 4 years, the turnover percentage ranged from 31 to 34%. And in 2020, it jumped up to 45%. In the hospitality industry, which isn't exactly what we do, but very closely related with respect to the labor force, previous 4 years, turnover was 75 to 79% annual employment turnover. And in 2020, it skyrocketed all the way up to over 130%. And in food services as well, very similar statistics, 74 to 79% the previous 4 years. And last year, that number skyrocketed to over 130% as well. So when we talk about us working in a employment market that is more challenging and at times frustrating than it's ever been before, it's really true. And to be able to do what we are currently doing with respect to team member retention and recruitment is really extraordinary. So thank you again, Christy. Next, Jerry Austin, Director of Dining Services, will give us a report from the dining team.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was going to hold this as part of the last part of my talk, but I think I'll just feed off of what Bradley was saying. I wanted to kind of update everybody on our challenges with hiring. And right now, we're probably in the most hurt that we've been since the whole COVID thing started. Right now, we're short about 11 people. And I'm bringing that up more, just I'm hoping if anybody out there has a relative that lives in the neighborhood, we need about 3 full-time front of the house, 2 part-time front of the house, 2 full-time cooks, and 3 full-time dishwashers. And we still have our sous chef position that's been posted for more than a month, and we've not had 1 application yet. So again, if we have anybody out there that can cook, Mrs. Papanastos, where are you? No. So I bring that up just to make you aware of the situation and know that the team's doing a great job covering bases and all. But if there's anybody that you know of that's looking for a job, we'd be happy to help them fill that need. One of the things that I'm really excited to announce is that we are getting ready to go live with our online ordering. I know I've talked about this a couple of times in the past. We're really to the point where we're about ready to make it happen. Would like to make a go live date of the 16th of this month, which would be not next Monday, but the following Monday. And with that, it's kind of nice the way that it works, because it allows everybody to put the orders in at your convenience, and it allows you to pick them up at your convenience. So right now, instead of, you have to come in between 11:45 and noon to pick up your meal, or 4:45 and 5 o'clock to pick up your meal. It gives you the opportunity that you can actually, during the meal period, every 15-minute increment, you can choose up to a half hour before that time to have your meal picked up. So you can go in, you put your order in, say you want to pick up dinner at 5:30. So you choose 5:30 as your time, and we will have that meal ready for you. And that our nice familiar black cart that hangs out here in the hot sun, cooking everybody's meal to full hot temp that nobody really needs. It's going to be inside, so that it's not baking the food anymore. So all you have to do is come into the dining room by the where the old buffet area is, and just pick up your meal and go. So that's going to be better all the way around. So it's really nice that it gives you a lot more flexibility. You can order lunch and dinner at the same time. The only thing I'm a little concerned with, and I'm going to ask for your help with, is I don't think right now it will differentiate. So if you put in an order for the dinner menu for a lunchtime pickup, I think it'll let you do that. But I'm just telling you, you won't get it. So there is a menu for lunch and a menu for dinner, and pickup times will associate for both. So just try to keep that in there. And we're working with Full Count to try to make that disappear, so it's only available during the times of the meal period. With that, I talked to Bradley a little bit, and I know that there's some concern about the ability to use the online system. It is something that you'll order through TLG Connect. It'll be under the dining cube, and it's pretty easy to walk through, but we're going to figure out a way that we can get some more training sessions if anybody's interested in learning how to do it and to become a little more familiar with the process. Ultimately, sick trays, if we have somebody that needs a sick tray delivered, we're going to ask that is ordered to the concierge. For those of you that have been here pre-pandemic, that's the way it used to be. The concierge will bring the meal ticket down to us, and then we'll be able to process that. The ultimate goal is to move away from the paper menus that we're printing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of every single day, kind of cut back on all those paper loss waste that we're doing. So that's where we're moving. The last thing is another thing that I think is near and dear to a lot of people's hearts, and that's Sunday brunch. We hear you, and we know that everybody is looking forward to getting that back into place. We are as well. We've worked on a lot of different options and tried to figure out how can we make this work with the current staffing, with the new style of service that we're doing. Before it was a buffet style service. Obviously now it's going to have to be a seated restaurant style service. So it's going to change up how we do things a little bit. We have a pretty good idea how we can make that work. I don't want to talk about it too much right now because we're going to present it to the dining committee on our next meeting so we can get residents' input on it and feedback. But I'm thinking that they are going to like it and we can move forward with it real soon. So that's all I have. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, Jerry. I know a lot of people are very excited about being able to order meals online, and also probably more people excited about Sunday brunch. And I appreciate you working with your team to be able to make those things happen. I know there's a lot of work that is going into both of those projects. And I don't know if Jerry mentioned it, in addition to providing some training sessions, we're working on providing some simple step-by-step written instructions on how to place your orders online for your meals. And this is meals that would be delivered or picked up to go. So we'll have those finished and distributed to everybody before the go live date for the online meal ordering. Next, And oh, actually, Ned Finkel, I don't know if Ned is joining us remotely from our advisory board. Just a reminder, Jerry, he did say he was a busboy back in the day.
I remember that.
Ned, watch out, you might get a call from Jerry. All right, next, I would like to ask, did Vincent run? Oh, Vincent, Director of Buildings and Grounds, to provide us a report. Vincent.
Hello, everyone. Updates from Buildings and Grounds. I'd like to remind everyone about the renovation schedule for the elevators. Building D and E, we've just completed. Building L will be on August 5th through the 6th. N and M, the 8th through the 9th. From the 9th through the 10th. Q and P is 8/11 through August 12th. I understand that there probably could have been some more communication as to the notice of this disruption for the elevators. I know the housekeeping schedules, and for some of you that live on 3rd floor, is a little bit confusing. We do apologize for that. My team and I have worked closely to resolve this, and this should not be an issue moving forward. Some other things my team's been working on, the Fountain Courtyard. We're working on updating the sound system out here. So I hope the next time you join us for Say of the Business, you'll have some pleasant background music and you should be able to hear us much more clearly. And it should be complete at the end of this month. My team's also been working on doing some fire sprinkler repairs you may have heard and seen throughout this week. We're in the process of replacing sprinkler heads and making some needed repairs to equipment. A heads up to some of you as you may be contacted for us to enter your apartment so we can gain access to replace some of these sprinkler heads that were considered to be needing to be a replacement. This is because of an annual assessment that was done at the earlier of this year. This concludes Buildings and Grounds updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent, for that report and for all the work that you and your team are doing. I have a few additional items, including an update on the status of our favorite topic of COVID-19 and the associated precautions. But before we get to that, a couple of other items. Thank you very much for everyone that completed the resident survey on communication that I'm holding up here. Our goal is to make sure that we are communicating with all of our residents in the ways that you prefer and in the ways that are not generating unnecessary waste, specifically of paper. And so we received surveys from about 50% of the residents, maybe a little bit more, but we still have quite a few that we'd like to hear from. So if you haven't had a chance to complete this survey, it's really easy. It's one question. So if you haven't had a chance to complete it, I've got copies up here that'll be on the table, and then there'll be copies available at the concierge desk. Please just complete that, and then you can leave it with the concierge. What are we going to do with this information? We're going to, I'm sure you've all noticed on your mailboxes in the mailroom, there is remnants of years and years and years of different color codes with different stickers and different labels. What our plan is to essentially start from scratch. And use a system where we know who would essentially who would like printed copies of everything that we communicate out, and who does not need a printed copy. And that way we'll make sure to get the information to the people in the way that to the residents in the ways that are preferable for you. Next, another item, mark your calendars for August 19th. Location to be determined, possibly in the GRA, but not confirmed yet. we will have a mid-year financial review presentation. I know that's the highlight for many of your years to look at spreadsheets and talk about dollars and numbers. If you are interested, please join us on the 19th. It'll be at 1:30 p.m. And what we'll do is review the financial performance of the community for the first 6 months of 2021. And between now and then, we'll be providing some more information on that. But mark your calendars now for the 19th at 1:30. We don't have any real significant updates yet on the plans for the Galleria, which includes Notions and Needs as well as the library. We're still in the pre-planning stages. We've got a little more work to do before we get to sitting down and discussing plan specifics with residents and team members. So I know several are anxious to hear an update, and as soon as we have more information, we'll share it, but we still got a little ways to go in the pre-planning process. The salon is currently closed, and it will open again on Tuesday, August 10th. Is that next Tuesday? Okay, next Tuesday, it'll be open again. Okay. Now, with respect to COVID-19, which I know everyone's tired of hearing about, but it's still very important, and we have to keep everybody updated as much as we can. So I'll give a brief recap of where we're at, what's taken place over the course of the last 2 weeks, and what to expect in the coming days and weeks. So over the course of the last week and a half, we've had 3 team members that have tested positive for COVID-19. All 3 of those team members have experienced varying degrees of symptoms, although none of them have required hospitalization. They're all at home in isolation, and all things considered doing relatively well. Today, we are conducting, the COVID team is conducting the 3rd round of what's considered response-driven testing. So whenever there's a positive case, we go into response-driven testing mode, where we test all residents and team members who may have potentially been exposed to the person that tested positive. And then we go through a series of tests every 3 to 4 days. So today, it's round number 3 of response-driven testing for all of the residents and team members in assisted living and memory care. Of the first 2 rounds of tests, all of the results have been received and all of the results have been negative, which is a huge relief. Yes, feel free to clap. We are also conducting today the 2nd round of testing of all of the team members and residents from the health center. And we've received all of the results from the 1st round of testing in the health center, and all of those test results as well have been negative. This is a really weird time. It's just gonna sound crazy, and many people will probably think I'm crazy. But I think it's a time to celebrate in many respects. The reality is, as I'm sure everybody sees on the news, they read in the newspapers, they hear from public health, that the numbers of COVID-19 are going up. They're going up at a fairly rapid pace. Fortunately, it doesn't seem, at least at this point, that people are getting quite as sick as they were maybe a year ago or 6 or 7 months ago. But the positive cases are certainly going up and going up at a somewhat alarming rate. Because of that, it is, I hate to say it, but it's inevitable that we're going to see cases. We're going to see positive cases amongst team members. We'll likely also see positive cases amongst residents. I'm sure many of you have family members or friends that have tested positive in recent weeks. It's going to happen. It's a reality that of the world that we're in right now. And what our primary goal is to make sure that when there are cases, they remain isolated cases and they don't turn into a widespread event throughout the community. I'm very, very proud of our team members for the way that they've handled the positive tests. And even before the positive tests, we have continually been educating our team members that if they've had exposure to somebody that has that's confirmed positive for COVID-19, or if they themselves are feeling symptomatic in any way, to inform their supervisor, to inform human resources, to inform the COVID-19 team here at the Terraces. And that's what's been happening. And with these 3 cases, we were able to, although we're not quite through yet, it appears as though they're isolated cases and they haven't spread. So although it's really, really challenging and really, really frustrating for team members and especially for our residents, the team is handling the situation as best as can be expected, and I'm very, very proud. And I'm appreciative of the understanding of all of you, of all of the residents, of your family members. Hopefully we don't find ourselves in a space in a position like we were 7 or 8 months ago. And if things keep going the way they are, hopefully that won't be the case. All right, that being said, it's actually all I've got on the agenda. So for those of you that are here in the Fountain Court, if you have any questions, please just start shouting, and I'll repeat the questions here in the microphone. And for those of you that are joining through Zoom, if you'd like to send any questions in through the chat, send them over to me through Zoom, and I'll receive them right here. So any questions or comments at this point? Yes, Ms. Jacobs. So for those of you who may not have been able to hear, Vincent, are you still around? All right, so the question was, of the 7 or 8 or 9 actually apartments that are currently under renovation, is there anything that we can do to speed up that process? So Vincent, I'll leave that one to you.
The team's working really hard right now to keep up with the demand. We have a lot of apartment remodels going on. We currently have one dedicated contractor who's taking care of all these remodels, and they've done an absolutely fantastic job of keeping up to the dates of completion, making sure they're completed to the specifications as we'd wanted them to be. They're working really hard. They have had challenges of acquiring materials lately. That's slowed down the project and getting things completed. We can look into possibly solutions of getting more contractors to help out with some of these remodels, but it's just a difficult time. But they are working very hard, and we are working to get these completed as quickly as possible. So please be patient with us, and we're doing our best to have these done.
Thank you, Vincent. I know there's a lot of challenges right now. Appreciate you working well with the contractors. There's a message or a question that came in through Zoom that says, what were the test results for memory care? I must have failed to mention that. So The memory care, the Grove, is on the same schedule as the Lodge assisted living. So both assisted living and memory care residents and team members have completed 2 full rounds of testing with all the results being negative. And the 3rd round is being conducted today. In the event that all of the tests that are conducted today, if all of those results from both the Lodge and the Grove are negative, then we are anticipating that the Department of Public Health will give us the clearance to reopen those areas of the community. So we'll be able to resume group dining, group activities, and then also permit non-essential visitors to return to visit those areas of the community. So fingers crossed that all the test results that are done, the tests that are done today result in negative tests. And then that public health gives us the green light to reopen. That will likely be on Monday is what we're sort of anticipating. I think we have a birthday today. Ms. Tobias, happy birthday. Do we want to sing? Let's sing. I'll step away from the microphone though. In 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Linda. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Ms. Tobias. Hope you have a very fun and exciting evening planned. I think we need a choir director. Yeah. I mean, that was okay, but I'm not that person. But anyways, happy birthday, even though we're not great at singing, at least singing all together. All right, let's see. We got another message that came in through Zoom that says, a team of painters did some nice work in limited areas. They seem to have disappeared. Will they be back?
So the painters have been repainting the stairwells for us. With our new elevators, we wanted the stairwells to look nice as well. We have been pulling them away to keep up with our remodels, as the remodels are our top priority, and getting those completed in a timely manner is very important to us. But as soon as we get caught up with our remodels, we'll get back on the painting of the stairwells.
Thank you, Vincent. What else? What questions do you have? None? Oh, Mr. Clemmer in the back. Good question. So the question was, how are we doing with the replacement for Danny for IT support? Thank you for mentioning that, because I do have some great updates. There's a few things we have going on. We have long known that we need to dedicate more time, resources, and energy to providing IT support for our residents. So there's a few things that are currently in the works. We have hired a new team member who many of you have probably seen or spoken with over the telephone. Perhaps he's come to your homes to provide some support. Gavin Finkel. He is a concierge, is his primary position, although he has time dedicated throughout the week to provide resident IT support. He has been responding to pending tickets for the last couple of days, and will continue to do so. Also, another thing in the works is Kendall Bonney, who most of you know. She is going to be transitioning to the executive assistant role in the coming weeks. She has already started doing a little bit of work in that role while still fulfilling her assignment in medical records in the health center. She will also be in the coming weeks beginning to provide also some resident IT support in certain respects. Additionally, an offer has been extended and accepted for a full-time IT administrator here on site. We'll provide some more details probably in the next week or so, but we have a wonderful individual who I've had the opportunity to meet. Her name is Sangeeta. She's great. She's got all of the technical skills to fulfill the requirements of the job. And if there are any IT people listening, no offense given, or yeah, no offense, I promise, but she's incredibly personable. I have very dear friends and family members even that work in the IT industry. And we joke that they're really good at technology and not always the best at human relations. But she's fantastic. And everyone's really going to like her. I don't know what the confirmed start date is for her, but we'll provide that information once it's solidified. And we're also working on, although not finalized as well, some plans to slightly restructure the way that our IT department is structured, both here at the Terraces as well as throughout the organization. So we're working on making sure that we significantly improve the level of services that we provide for IT support for the residents through some sort of structural changes to that position. Sharon Roth. So the question, thank you for the question. The question was, with Catherine leaving, are we posting a position for health services administrator? So Catherine has actually been in the process of going through a training program to become a licensed health services administrator. And with her slight career change, obviously that's not going to happen. So although she's been serving as the assistant health services administrator, the position has been posted and we're actively recruiting for a health services administrator who is already a licensed administrator to fulfill that role. Ms. Shane. So the question for those that maybe didn't hear is if anything's been worked out so that residents can purchase either a quart or a half gallon of milk here at the community. Anything on that, Jerry? No.
Not really.
So one of the challenges when we were previously doing that was that whenever we would purchase half gallons of milk from our vendors, we couldn't get a half gallon of milk, and it sounds crazy, with an expiration date that was longer than maybe a week after it was delivered. If that, and that created lots of challenges. And to be frank, if we were to resume a service like that, it would just be us sending a team member across the street to buy a half gallon of milk. So we'll see if we can, we'll connect with the vendor and see if there's any changes on their end that would make that a little more feasible. For the time being, though, it's not something that we can do. I hate to say that because I always like to say, yes, we can do that. But at this time, we can't. Any other questions, comments, feedback, jokes? No? All right, well, oh, one comment just came through. It's Gavin's birthday too. So I don't know where Gavin is. He's not here right now, but he may be at the screening station or at the concierge desk. So if you see him, wish him a happy birthday. I also think it's Agnes Cheribio, our wellness director's birthday as well. But she's taken the day off, so we can't wish her a happy birthday in person. Anything else? Anything else from anyone on Zoom? No. All right. Well, I guess we will end a little early. I think it's happy. Is there a happy hour going on right now? Maybe. So those that are going to happy hour, I'll let you go a little early. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all that you do to help make this community as wonderful as it can be. Thank you for all that you do to help make the team member experience as pleasant and meaningful as possible. Whenever we talk to our team members and ask them what their favorite part is about working at Terraces, it's all of you, the residents. So thank you for your support and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.